Good afternoon, everyone. I am Alex Johnson, the president of the Plano West Rotary Club. Thank you for joining us today, Tuesday, March 9th. I say that because people say when they watch the videos, they don't know what day it is. And so this is Tuesday, March 9th, everybody. And to kick off our meeting, I'm going to turn it over to our past president and treasurer and sergeant of arms, Mike Walker. Take it away, Mike.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think to start off today, break, I'll wait till Freddie gets a full mouth of water. Fred, do you have a brag with us this afternoon? Looks like you got a little tan. You've been outside working.
No, I think that's just the video. I don't know what it is. Maybe I better turn the light off now. Well, I'm excited because I sent off our applicants to Johnny Lewis and scanned them and sent them off. But we've only got 12 applicants this year because the setup and everything. But still excited. Now I've got to send the letter out and try to get them lined up to interview them and so forth. But anyway, that's what I'm excited about.
Thank you. Ms. Leach, good morning and afternoon. Do you have a brag?
I do have a brag. I have a really good brag today. My son, my youngest son, Sean, has been accepted for an internship at Fujitsu this summer.
Wow.
Very excited about that.
Wow. Nothing better than kids with good jobs and benefits.
Should I charge him rent now?
Thank you. Mr. Antonio Harris, do you ever brag today?
I mean, it's a beautiful day today. I mean, that's good. Was outside this morning, took a little walk. Gonna go play basketball a little later too. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Good, thank you. Looks like golf weather out there. It was yesterday, I can attest to that.
Yeah, yesterday was really nice as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey,
Zane,
Mike,
you have a brag this afternoon?
Clevie doesn't have audio, but she typed in a brag in chat.
Okay. Zane, do you have a brag?
Sure, we're presenting today for the Rotaract Club of UT Dallas. Hopefully my fellow Rotaractors will be here in a couple of minutes. But yeah, I'm excited to present.
We're excited. Thank you. Catherine, do you have a brag?
Actually, my brag today is to promote two things that I like to share in our community, and that is I'm going to share in the chat here a link to Plano area Dems. Now I know we're nonpartisan. This is an opportunity. We are sponsoring a school board candidate forum this Saturday afternoon. So it's Zoom, and I will tell you all of the candidates, regardless of stripe, have agreed to appear on this. So I want everybody to have their opportunity to hear from all of our candidates. Every single one of them has agreed to show up for this forum, which I think will be exciting. And secondly, on Sunday at the Art Center of Plano, we are having an open house in the afternoon that will be attended by our two feature artists there we're closing out our celebration of Black History Month with those two artists. And for that, if you just go out to the website for Plano area or the Art Center of Plano.org, there's information on that open house, and it's some fabulous work that will only be around for, I want to say, another week. So it's more beautiful in person than you could see online.
Thank you, Catherine. Mr. Thornton, it looks like you're batching it today. Or...
Yeah, Michelle's, her parents had a busted pipe, and we're still working through all the. So there's people over there now trying to go to the next step on their master bedroom and everything. So my brag is Steve. I'll agree with Antonio. It's really nice weather. We're getting out more. And we have, this week is good and bad. It's our last week to be babysitting our 6-month-old, which we love to do, but it's also been cramping some of the other things we have on our schedule. So we're going to back off a little bit, but we still get to see her every week. So that's awesome.
Good, thank you. Mr. Livingston, do you ever brag today?
I think I'm going to continue the theme with the weather. First of all, I do think that it's great weather outside and want to brag a little bit on my daughter. She's been doing really well here recently. She got her a program for a gold award for Girl Scouts accepted. So we were pleased with that. That was a big step for her. And then also she was accepted to the rehabilitation program for physical therapy at her school. So she was one of a few high school students that was able to participate in that program. So we're really proud of her and what she's been accomplishing here recently. I guess that's my brag for today.
That's quite an accomplishment in Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
In fact, I have a case of Girl Scout cookies that's over here to the left of me. So come by and I'll
I have to get rid of mine somehow. That's why I'm only showing face up.
Mr. Posey, do you ever brag this afternoon?
On mute, Tom.
Tom, it's mute. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Good. I'm going to pigtail on the weather comments because after what we went through last week, it is a blessing to see what we have today and enjoy it.
Yeah. Reminds us why we moved to Texas or came here in Texas. Shishimo, do you ever brag? Is she a guest? I lost her.
Yes, my brag is I'm happy spring break is here. At least I can spend some time with my daughter at home.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Laura Johnson, do you ever brag?
Yes, I do. Today, my 17-year-old just had 4 wisdom teeth extracted, and I just got home, I don't know, 45 minutes ago. She's handling it like a champ, and it was something that had to be done. You know? I think she'll be much happier having those teeth gone. But anyway, she's a real wimp, but she's actually handling it very well.
Thank you. Mr. Frankenfield, do you ever brag?
Yeah, I'd like to brag on our schools. My grandsons are back in school during the day, thankfully, and that's a good start. I hope that winds down this pandemic sooner than later.
Yeah, amen to that. LaShawn, do you ever brag? LaShawn, you're muted if you're talking. You may not be talking. There we go.
I don't have a brag, just glad to be here.
Well, we're glad you're here too.
Thank you.
Caitlin, do you ever brag?
Yeah, my parents have been trying for a very long time to get the vaccine, and tomorrow they get their first dose. So we are thrilled. And I think that's going to make them and me feel a lot more comfortable.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. Let's see. Clevie, do you ever brag this afternoon?
Remember, she doesn't have audio. She typed it in chat. So you can read what she typed in chat.
Okay, we can do that. Mr. Lawton.
Tell you what, let me read what Clevie said. Clevie's brag, and don't forget everybody, we're voting and inducting her next week. Her brag for today, she typed it in a private chat. I thought it was a public chat. Her brag for today is a new puppy in the family, and her name is Her Majesty's Virginia Richardson of Carrington Estates. That's a name. And she applied for our Rotary Board position.
Hey, that's powerful. That's a great message. Mr. Lawton, do you ever brag?
Yes, sir. I think I'm going to roll with. I've got both of my COVID shots, so I don't have cooties anymore.
Well, congratulations. Mr. Fred Thomas, do you ever brag this afternoon? You're muted. If you're talking, you're muted.
Yeah, I brag. I got my first shot Sunday morning, me and my wife and my brother-in-law. That's my brag.
Thank you, Fred.
You welcome.
Joy Hinkleman, do you ever brag?
I do. I just want to brag on Tamara. She met with one of my nurses, and we are working on a collaboration between the Douglas community and the Wellness Center to get some preventative healthcare services set up out there. So
That's good. That's good.
really excited, really excited.
Thank you. Debbie O'Reilly, do you ever brag?
Hey there. Yeah, I just scheduled my first COVID vaccination for Thursday at Clark Stadium, so I'll be much safer by then.
Well, good. Congratulations. I guess the last one would be Julie Homer. Julie, you ever brag this afternoon?
Hi there. Sorry, I'm late to the party. I was told that we didn't have a meeting this week because it was spring break, and then I saw you guys live on Facebook. So anyway, a brag for this week. Well, as you guys should know, I'm running for Plano City Council Place 7, and I had I was really excited and fired up yesterday to see some of my old elementary school friends from Sigler that don't even live in the area anymore posting and endorsing me and spreading the word to make sure that their friends and family in Plano knew I was running and wanted to support me. So I was proud to see my old friends from elementary school out there shouting out for me. So that was cool.
It is good. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah,
Mr. President, I think that's everybody. So it's back to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mike. Well, it's good to see everybody here. Did we truly cover everybody? Wow, that was a fast brags, which is good, I guess. So everybody see my screen? Cool, cool. So what I'm going to do now is ask our infamous and amazing club member, LaShawn Ross. She's going to lead us in prayer.
Infamous. Oh my goodness. Let's pray about that title. If you all will join me in prayer, please. Lord, we thank you for this opportunity to come together. Thank you for the talents, gifts, and resources that you've given us to share with others. We ask that you would be with us, lead, guide us, and direct us in all that we do. Bless our club, bless the leadership, and bless all that we do. In Jesus' name we pray and thank you for all things. Amen.
Thank you, infamous LaShawn. Now I'm going to ask
about that part.
our other infamous club member, and he also happens to be our Rotary Foundation chair. Randall, can you lead us in the pledge?
Absolutely. Please join me as we salute our flag today. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There we go. I was muted. Thank you, Randall, very much. What I want to do today for our foundation moment is share a little video. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on the screen. Everybody see that? And then I don't think you guys are seeing it, are you? No. There we go. I don't think you guys saw anything, did you?
No.
No.
Yeah, so let me see if, hey, life and running Zoom meetings. Let me see if I could fix this. Oh man, okay. Let's try this again, my bad. Let's do this one. Okay, here we go. Awesome. The point of that is just to remind everybody how much our Rotary Foundation does, not only locally in the community, but around the world. And it's easy to forget that we've got a global impact as well as a local impact. Currently, locally, what we use, our club for the last 4 years, and I think we have to thank Glenn Thornton for starting this, we receive district grants. In order to receive district grants, we have to donate as a club $120 per capita. And what that means is if you take your number of members, multiply by $120, that's what we as an organization or as our individual club members have to donate to the Rotary Foundation. And then that makes us eligible to get a Rotary District grant for anything we want to use it for $3,500. And so basically we have been the recipients of $3,500 every year for the last 4 years because our club has been contributing to the foundation. This year, well, we just received our check probably 30 days ago for $3,500, of which we used towards our scholarships for our high school students. We actually gave out $10,000 in scholarships in the spring, and actually Bianca, one of our club members, was one of the recipients of that. Well, this year we're going to be giving out 3 scholarships and then we're also going to be using the grant to fund Camp Ryla. So the Rotary Foundation allows you to do things globally and then allows you to do things locally. And our club has been using the Rotary Foundation locally for basically, young adults, high school students for scholarships at Camp Ryla. So just want to remind everybody, that's what we do, and we're part of that bigger picture, which just makes it really exciting. Let's do a little club business. Right now, we're going through pets. It's virtual training. I think Zane and Ike, that's who I saw yesterday with me. Is there anybody else in the club that's participated in pets? Because I might.
Sam was there. He had to drop. Sam's there. He had to drop early.
Well, cool. So we have got 4 people there. That's great. You guys will learn a lot. Well, there's another, and that takes place basically in the evenings all week and Saturdays. And they'll do the same thing next year. Now there's another training. It's called our district conference. And there's going to, and I think everybody should have received email on it. They have a live version and a virtual version. I'm doing the virtual side. And so it's on April 23rd, April 24th. I encourage you, when you get the email, click it. Anybody that attends, the club will reimburse you. So you would pay for it and then reimburse you, similar like we're doing with pets right now. It's really good training. I'll be there, but like I said, from a virtual perspective, but you can choose whether you want to do the live version or virtual. So that's up to you. Something that I want to talk about, it's kind of a brag. This is a huge, huge, huge thing for our club. I don't know if you guys remember, the city of Plano gave us an opportunity of providing volunteers for their emergency warming station that they just popped up. It happened, LaShawn probably can relate to this because she used to be there. I actually texted Greg Rushan to say, because he's deputy city manager, Greg, how can our Rotary Club help? And he sent me this big old book of the text of all these things they're doing. And he goes, well, Mark's in the emergency center. Why don't you text him? Because I think we might need some help with this pop-up station. Originally, it was only going to be for city employees. He basically asked everybody in the city to volunteer 24/7 shifts, but they opened it up for our Rotary Club. That tells you how amazing our Rotary Club is. So long story short, Mark did his thing, somebody contacted us, and we had Courtney and Brandon kind of lead off the project from our side. So we had a few, we were able to get some volunteers in. Actually, Plano staff, they manned like 95% of it. Talk about stepping up. I mean, we're talking 24-hour shifts over 4 days. So we barely could get it filled up so fast. So that was amazing. Well, I started doing some research. I'm like, wow, this is this is a big need. Well, then I discovered this organization that other people know about well called the Plano overnight warming station, which is led through the Homeless Coalition, of which LaShawn and James are on their board, and it coordinates through the Salvation Army. They have the facility, and then it's really a number of churches that put together PALS teams. And so I contacted them to say, how can we help? This is something, we have a lot of people in our club that have a passion for supporting the homeless. And Bill Howard, I know Glenn knows Bill, and other people may know, he basically said, you know, maybe you guys could be a PALS team. And I'm like, that's probably big. Maybe we could take some baby steps. And he's like, well, you know, that's actually the best thing. So he kind of convinced me. He's a good salesperson. And so I went back to, Glenn's like, yes. I went back to Brandon and Courtney agreed to lead it. So Courtney is currently working through Bill Howard. And I gotta say, did Julie still on or did she leave? Bummer, she left. Julie Homer, she was our guest today. Her parents basically run the program. I mean, they are Rich Homer and his wife, they're intimately involved. So is she here? Oh, no, that's somebody. Okay, so basically, why this is important, Courtney and obviously the rest of the club, we're gonna recruit 50 volunteers and get them trained through the PALS organization. And then when the next season, which is basically the fall, they right now they think there's gonna be about 33 nights that are gonna be so cold that the PALS station is gonna open up. There could be more. And then us teams, there's about 7 or 8 teams now, we will be one of them. We will pick nights that we will man the station. And so of our 50 volunteers, 25 of them are needed. And so this is pretty excited because like I said, we do have a number of people in our club that are passionate and involved in the homelessness and doing something about it. And this is going to be another area that our club's going to be able to lead the community and make an impactful change. And the fact that we just went through our Snowmageddon, everybody truly understands the importance of this because we're complaining because we had our heat turned off. Well, what about people that don't even have heat? They have nowhere to go. So I'm excited. So that's our brag about our club and Courtney for stepping up to do it. And then I also want to mention, we are looking for a homelessness global grant team leader. We're looking to put together, LaShawn put together the community assessment, which is like the key, most important part. And honestly, one of the hardest things to do. So yay, LaShawn. Well, with that assessment, now we need to pull together a team to go through the assessment and identify what some high priority projects, because it's not just one project for homelessness. There's a lot of little ones or big ones or medium ones. And so the team needs to go through the assessment, determine what some priorities are, determine some projects, and then we can identify what we'll do. And so the first team leader is really more of a consensus builder, not do an actual project, but figure out what we're gonna do. Normally, my approach is this has been not to rush, just to take our time. But the Rotary Foundation has been giving out so much money, especially because of COVID. It's actually giving out more money than it's receiving, which is one of the reasons you're always hearing me talk about give to the foundation. Well, where that affects us is because they're running out of money, they're giving less money. So normally with a global grant, there's 100% match. So global grants are minimum 30,000, and let's say we come up with 15,000, the Rotary Foundation will put up another 15,000, free money if we meet their criteria. Well, any application submitted after May 31st, they're only matching 80%. Well, that's a big chunk. And so I really would like to get at least one global grant project submitted before May 31st so we could take advantage of the 100% match. If we don't, 80% match is better. Hey, beggars can't be choosy, but that's my goal. So if somebody is interested in leading a team to identify projects, let me know because I'd like to have that done. So then based on that, we could submit a project. Then if it gets approved, then we actually start the can't speak, implementation. Currently on the team, Joy has, she's going to have somebody in her team in her nonprofit be on the team. Keep in mind, she's Miss Moneybags. They just collected almost a $500,000 in grant towards homelessness. So they are going to be one of the major experts. Sashimo, who is a professional project manager, he's agreed to be on the team. So we need to fill out some more people and then find that person that's going to help us identify the projects. So that's kind of where I need some help. I do want to thank, I sent out a plea to our female members of the fact that when we induct Clevie, we will be at gender parity. We will have 27 men and 27 women in our club, which is awesome. We also will have 27 non-whites and 27 whites. So we're going to be at diversity parity too, which is pretty amazing. And so yay club. Well, with that, as those that got my text, it's really cool. We're leading the nation. We're doing all these great things, but we're failing because we have no women in leadership. And everybody knows that's where it starts. Change starts at the top down. So it's kind of hard for us to say we're leaders when we don't have any women in leadership. And I got to thank Steve Lawton for kind of inspiring me on reaching out to our women members and saying, hey, we need you to step up. Well, we had 3 applications submitted in yesterday, and I'm talking with 3 other ladies about these opportunities. So yay club, thank you. It's a start. You know, with our new board, I think we'll be at 9. And if, you know, we'll potentially have at least 3 women on our board, we need more. If we're a 50-50 club, we should be 50-50 in leadership at the bare minimum. So I'm going to always be asking everybody to be stepping up. But I'm very, very thankful and excited for those that have submitted applications. Got 2 minutes left. So let me roll into, another thing about our club. We have, you know, the Plano ISD, they've asked us to help and we're doing it, which is amazing. Now the city of Plano, they contacted me yesterday asking to help. So this first project, City of Plano door hangers, we're actually helping the neighborhood services group. They identify neighborhoods that they have a very low response rate for all the services that the city does for free. You know, they're basically wanting to help neighborhoods. And so they've asked us if we could put together a group, actually 10 volunteers, to hand out door hangers. Laura Johnson agreed to step up for that. Yay, Laura. And so the idea is we're gonna basically get these door hangers from the city. Laura's gonna do it sometime this week. And then on Saturday from 9:30 to 11, they're gonna put them on 161 houses. So it's basically about 30 houses per team of 2. It's really simple, real easy. I mean, anybody here that happens to be running for some city office, this is a good time to get in front of a bunch of citizens. So look on our website, sign up. Laura is the team leader, so ask her if you have any questions. But once again, I'm excited because the city came to us about our Rotary Club helping them. So the fact that we've got the school district, we have the city of Plano seeing us as a resource, if that's not service, you know, what is? So I love our club. The second project, another example, Glenn Thornton's been running our Adopt a Highway for about 4 years, where we clean up a stretch of Avenue K every other month. Well, the city has a huge need for Oak Point Park. And so they asked us if we can help. So we're trying to pull together 20 volunteers. They actually could need more, but we're like, we'll start with 20 because it's totally trashed. Oak Point Park, if you could think, Rowlett Creek and everything. So the city's gonna run it. We're just bringing a bunch of volunteers. Glenn's our team leader, but this is a lot easier than Adopt a Highway because we just show up. We don't have to do everything that Glenn normally does. Once again, we're helping our amazing city. Armstrong Project, this is where we're supporting the school district. Armstrong's had a food pantry for the last couple of years. And basically you got school district teachers, You have their admin, you have people from the district helping, delivering food to the families a Tuesday every month. Well, I got contacted by both the principal and the assistant principal asking us for help. And Catherine stepped up as our PISD point of contact. She's going to lead that project. We basically are going to show up with about 7 volunteers. We're going to work alongside a skeleton crew of Plano ISD employees to distribute meals that they have in this food pantry. And this food pantry is through North Texas Food Bank, who I love North Texas Food Bank. So I encourage everybody to always thank North Texas Food Bank. They're the ones that gave us those 1,700 meals on February 6th with 5 days notice. So yay. We have our speech contest. Jenny is running that. That's on the 20th. If you know any students that in high school, have them apply. They have the opportunity of winning up to $1,250 if they win all the way. We're going to have 4 students speak to our club on the 23rd. And so it's going to be during this Zoom. I think, Zane, aren't you running that meeting?
Sorry?
Aren't you running that meeting? You're doing the 4-way test speech contest?
Yes, I am helping with that.
Because Jenny's got class, and so she can't do it, even though she's coordinating it. So our club version, Zane's going to run. So it's basically going to be a different structure of the meeting because we're going to have 4 students giving speeches. So it'll be a lot different than what we're used to. And then the next Saturday, we have our Adopt a Highway on Avenue K. That's what we've done. Sign up for that. We look to get 10 people. And then we have our Cards for Nursing Home projects. So those are all the things we have going on. And it's, as you can tell, we have a lot happening in March. So everybody continue to participate and invite your friends. Well, now what you've been wanting to hear from. I'm going to do a kind of a casual introduction because, you know, these are our club members, but we have 4 of our club members are officers of the UTD Rotaract Club. They're basically the heart and soul behind it. And that Rotaract Club is sponsored by the Richardson Rotary Club. Gene Fitch, who's the Vice President of Student Affairs for the university, is their Rotarian advisor. He's a member of it. So I've known anybody, Gene's a great guy. And so it's kind of cool. Their advisor is a fellow Rotarian. He's not used to having Rotarians on Rotaract, but we just have amazing club members. Well, they're doing a lot. And so they're going to tell us about what they're doing. So I am just going to turn this over to them. I don't know who them is, except for Zane Taha. I don't see him or her. So it looks like it's those 2. So take it away, you guys.
Sorry, it wasn't letting me unmute for some reason. Hey, everyone. I'm so excited to be presenting the Rotaract Club of UT Dallas. We are just getting started. So last semester is kind of when we started planting the seeds for everything. And this semester, we hit the ground running. And so we currently, I'll just get right into the presentation. Our current officer team, as Alex mentioned, has 4 Rotarians on it and 1 future Rotarian on it. 4 of the members were formerly in Interact leadership. 3 people were attended RILA. So our officer team has a really strong connection to Rotary, and I think that's going to be really advantageous, as you'll see later on, with how we will partner with the community on our service projects. And so I think we have a really great officer team, and so that's going to be super awesome for the development of our club going forward. From a membership standpoint, like I said, we kind of just got started this semester, but we already had 1 person just kind of cold email us and reach out and say they're interested. So we have 6 members, 1 more to be added soon. And I think once we start service projects and, you know, start partnering with the community, we'll see a huge uptick in membership, similar to how Plano West Rotary grew in membership through service. So like Alex also mentioned, we're sponsored by Richardson Rotary. Our advisor is Gene Fitch. And so we have a lot of school support. Of course, being the Vice President of Student Affairs, reporting directly to the President, we have a lot of support, a lot of people rooting for us at UT Dallas. And so we're super excited to be working with them. You know, Bianca's already presented to their club a little bit. And so we are we're working closely with them, but we'll also be working very closely with the community, as you'll see later on. So I just wanted to throw in, since we're presenting to Plano West Rotary, how Plano West Rotary can benefit from our Rotaract Club. So first of all, having 4 out of 5 officers being in Plano West Rotary, I think we can see a large influx of new members that are volunteering with Plano West Rotary and eventually joining Plano West Rotary. And again, I'll talk about this a lot more later on, but we would love to work with Plano West Rotary's existing projects and partner with the community and really create awesome opportunities for students using Plano West Rotary's service infrastructure that's already in place. So I'm going to hand it over to Taha, who is our club treasurer. He'll talk a little bit more about our club finances.
Hello. So for entering our club, we have dues that are required by all students, and it's a $25 one-time fee, but in most cases, if people are unable to provide the $25, we have other methods to fulfill the requirements, such as fulfilling service projects and doing just spending time and participating in the club. And as it relates to the bank account right now, because our club was reinstated, we don't really have access to the bank account itself right now. Mr. Fitch is working on removing the old officers and adding us, but it takes time because of privacy issues, obviously. And we have some level of funds, as you can see, $1,000 in funds, and that can help us in making better service projects and helping the club grow further. And we are also getting support from the school itself. We get approximately $200 a year, and there's also additional funds for events and for flyers, chairs, banners, and other stuff like that. This is very helpful, and we realize how much support we have from the school, so we want to make the most out of it and do the best we can to help others and grow the club in a sufficient manner. And we have UTD has this thing called presence page where people can go on the website and find clubs that they love and enjoy. And so we have our own version of it at the Rotaract Club of UT Dallas. And so we will use this to share to expand the club and make it more popular. And so right now, we're working on gaining access to social media pages, but obviously because the old offices are gone, we don't necessarily have access to all of it. But once we do, we will start working on that and growing our social media and trying to expand ourselves. I believe one of the Rotarians, I believe Bianca's working on that right now. She's trying to figure out how we can get access from like Facebook and Instagram to manipulate those pages and to the current ones we need right now.
So I'm going to get into the super exciting part, our plan to serve. Our club is going to be focused on service first. And so because of COVID and everything, we think the best way to kind of start launching is to work with existing Rotary clubs, existing service projects, and partner with the community, because obviously there's a lot of service projects going around right now. And so, Plano West Rotary has 6 projects a month, something like that. And other Rotary clubs are also doing good work in the community. So we want to work with these Rotary clubs. We want to, kind of take the students of UT Dallas and expose them to all of the good work that's being done in our district by Rotary clubs. And so we really kind of imagined like we'll kind of be that touch point, that funnel that takes UT Dallas students, exposes them to Rotary, shows them some of the impact that we can have, and invites them to service projects. And so that will help us grow our membership. That will allow students to get super engaged with existing service projects. And of course, it's a relatively easy way for us to launch amidst COVID and all the craziness. And so as I have on the slide, we have lots of student interest in engaging with the community. For example, for our previous Barron service project, I just invited a couple of classmates and we had approximately 5 signed up for that Barron service project on February the 20th. And so as more opportunities come up, we'll certainly advertise them to the UT Dallas student body. And I think we can gain a huge number of volunteers and students because in speaking with students and in being a student, there are a bunch of people that just want to get out, get engaged and serve the community right now, especially being stuck at home. So as I kind of previously mentioned, we want to, once we have people, we invite them to the service project. And once we have them seeing the value that they can generate through Rotary, we'll invite them to join our club. And a lot of this we've kind of modeled off of what Plano West Rotary has done because it's obviously been successful. We're going to focus on service, and through that, I think we can really bring in lots of memberships, lots of members into our club, as well as into the Rotary clubs in our community. So in the future, I think, obviously this is a great way to launch, and we'll continue to do that in the future. But one of the things that we're envisioning is kind of creating a platform for students to serve in the community. And so, as we grow our membership and we have students with all of these great ideas, we'll provide opportunities for students to step up, lead service projects like Plano West Rotary does. If you want to take initiative and lead a service project, or you have an idea for one, you can propose it, and everyone is able to make a real impact. And so we think that we can, work with our partnerships with Rotary clubs and help students, create actually impactful service projects. So this presentation went by a lot faster than I was expecting, but that's all right. More time for questions. So I'm happy, Ta and I are happy to take some of your questions. Yeah, Glenn, go ahead.
So I got to thinking when you guys were talking, first of all, good presentation. I liked it. You guys are making good progress. I wondered if some of our new members, and maybe even some of our not as new members, really know what Rotaract is. We talk about Rotaract, sometimes they'll hear Interact, maybe every once in a while Early Act. Can we give just a quick definition of Rotaract?
For sure. So, obviously Rotary International, there's over 35,000 Rotary clubs. Rotaract was created with the intent of providing a little bit more flexibility and targeting younger people. So initially, it was people that were between 18 and 35. And essentially, Rotaract clubs are supported by Rotary, and they provide kind of a platform for young adults to get together. And so it's kind of like taking the Rotary experience and creating it in a way that's more attractive to young adults. Obviously, Rotary clubs can also themselves become more attractive to young adults, but Rotaract is kind of a distinct branch for younger adults who want to get involved in the Rotary world.
And if I could throw a little bit in there, traditionally, Rotaract was only for young adults, basically 18 to 30. Then they increased the age to 35, then they increased it to 40, and now they kicked off the age group. But more importantly, 4 years ago, Rotary International made a change that Rotaractors can also be dual members of Rotary, because before it was one or the other. Well, that was huge. So hence we have 7 Rotarians that are in college in our club. And so they're Rotarians, and all of them are members of the Rotaract club in their school, which was only allowable 4 years ago. And so it's part of that, instead of saying, hey, you're young, you're different. Now Rotary is saying, hey, we're inclusive of everything. And you can be in Rotary and you can still focus on your college as well. So sorry to interrupt, but just kind of add why it's working together. They're distinct, but we're still connected.
Yeah, and I to your point, it used to kind of be siloed, but I think we can really see, especially with our partnership with the community and Rotary clubs in the community, we can kind of see that bridging between Rotaract and Rotary. It's a lot closer. We can have members of both. So any other questions?
Oh yeah, Zane, I got a question for you. So was the Rotaract club at UT Dallas like previously idle for a little bit? Because you mentioned something about the old officers and that are no longer there and stuff. So I was wondering if you'd like talk a little bit more about that. Like it sounds like you guys like starting it back up after like a brief idle period.
Taha, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, I can take that. So what happened was that before the Rotaract Club was not necessarily, it wasn't doing so well just because of the fact that I guess the officers weren't very focused on the club itself. So during the pandemic and around spring of last year, the Rotaract Club, basically all the officers just went away. They all graduated, so the club did not have anyone else to keep it going. So basically, it was kind of gone in a sense. And so what we did with Zane, leading the Rotaract Club, he reinstated the club itself at UTD, and so we're trying to basically start it up again and try to get it back to where it was and even better.
Awesome. Any other questions?
I don't have a question, Zane, but I just want to compliment all of you on your leadership and the roles that you're taking in not only being present at these meetings and all the work that you all do behind the scenes to prepare for these meetings, but for the additional work that you're now doing at UTD and providing that leadership to pull people together in the best interest of the community. And I think it's just really important work. And I know that you all have lots of demands on your time and interest. So I just want to say thank you and tell you that I really admire all of you for what you bring to the table and for the leadership that you're offering.
Thank you.
Here. We've got 7 amazing Rotarian college students in our club, because I think LaShawn summed it up. They got a busy life right now. We all know what college is like, and you've got all those things going on. Plus they're Rotarians and they're all involved in different aspects of our club. And now they're trying to engage their college. And so they're like the superheroes of, we could talk about how busy we are, they're busy. And I don't know about you guys, I had 0 interest in service when I was a freshman or sophomore in college. And so these guys are so much better than me, it's unreal.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for taking the time to listen to us. So Alex, I guess it's back to you.
Well, sure.
Thank you guys.
I wanted to actually, I'm going to like pick on somebody, Fred Beamendorfer. See that? He's been working with the youth. What, how long you been doing RILA? What, 35 years?
Well, the first camp, I drove the campers to Bridgeport, but then there was a lull in there. I guess probably didn't start back up until 94, 95, but I've been doing interviews over at Plano Senior High and also as a transportation until I went on staff since 2005. But, it's hard to keep track of all that time, but.
So Fred's been working with high school seniors for the last 3 decades. And we have 3 Rilarians in our club. 2 of them happen to be camp counselors, which is like a very, Zane and Sam, it's a process. It's a big deal. It's like basically the best of the best for RILA. So Fred, what do you think about the fact that we've got, 7 college students, 4 Rilarians, Zane, Sam, Bianca, and Jenny. Then when Antonio joined, didn't you go to RILA, Antonio?
Yes, sir, I did. Yeah.
And when he joins our club, we'll be another Rilarian.
Yes,
So what do
sir.
you think about that, Fred? Because you've worked with Rilarians for so long, and now we've got them joining Rotary, at 18, 19 years old.
Usually you don't see them outside of RILA unless we have day 7, and now they have the summer summit and everything, or winter summit. But it's encouraging that they're in Rotaract and they're participating and everything, because I don't get to see that aspect. My only encouragement to them is, stay connected with RILA, because there's so many benefits and everything that we don't even hear about. And but it's great that they've taken a leadership role at UT Dallas and everything, and they can grow it and everything. But I'm just looking forward to see them down the road, because in 2005, when I interviewed some of the students, I mean, they're already in their profession. Some of them are doctors, some of them are lawyers, some of them are just regular business people, but it's a great program. And unfortunately, it's restricted in the numbers of how many you can have, but it's a tremendous program, and it keeps me inspired to participate and stay in Rotary and everything. And lastly, this past year, we couldn't go to camp, but it's kind of looking like maybe with all the vaccines and everything that we may be able to go this year. But they adapted with the virtual and everything, and they went with Rye Lead. And I don't know if any of the 7 here got to participate in Rye Lead. Jim Duffy said it was a great success, and a lot of the kids bonded virtually, and you know full well that they're getting together face to face. That's just human nature and stuff. But Rye Lead is there, and maybe that'll set a precedent for being able to train youth without having to go to camp and everything. We could have that probably as a virtual and everything, and include students that normally couldn't go to camp anyway. I wish that we could get back into June to meet at camp, because it really leaves out a lot of the athletes and band, because they just don't have an opportunity and so forth. But great program. And for those of you that are not familiar with RILA, when Dana Mackelson and Jim Duffy and our past district governor, Mark, when he passed away, they went to an organizational meeting, and this is really the model for RILA International. We've had RILArians that have gone to Sweden, Chicago, San Antonio, and elsewhere but there's a lot of, they get a lot of calls on what do we do at RILA 5810 and everything. It's a well-oiled deal. It's actually run by the RILArians. Rotary just facilitates it. And if you ever have an opportunity to go down there just for one night or one day, take that opportunity and everything, because you're welcome to come down.
Thank you, Fred. Fortunately, we've got Zane and Sam that are counselors, so they know Rye Lead extensively. So they're working with the current class. But one last person I want to pick on, Debbie O'Reilly. Are you there? Good. Debbie's a teacher. She's actually head of the English department at Plano Senior High, which is, we sponsor that Interact Club, and that's where we select our students for Camp RILA. And we have 2 club members that have graduated from Plano Senior High School, Meher and Bianca. And Bianca tells me Debbie was her favorite teacher her senior year. Debbie, what do you think about the fact that we have all of these young adults in our club, and we're going to be doing more, and now they're taking Rotary to Rotaract?
Oh, you know, it's such an honor and a pleasure. I teach so many young adults like Bianca. She was my favorite student. Don't tell anybody, but she was wonderful, and she really exemplifies and embodies the spirit of what this club's about. And like LaShawn said, these are our next generation leaders, and they've already figured out, like you said, Alex, way in advance how this works, and to invest in your community. People say all the time, this is the selfish generation. They only care about themselves. No, no, no. There's plenty of activists and leaders in these young people. So I don't stand for them criticizing those folks.
Thank you. Thank you. I know you're working out. See, she's making good use of spring break. All right, you guys. I think, Fred, one last question. Is RILA applications, are we done getting them? Can we get any more?
I guess in all fairness, you know, they all went through Melissa Chode at the counselor's office, and I don't know, that would probably be up to not just to me, but Debbie, are you going to participate in the interviews?
Well, if you're asking me, I guess I will.
That I think maybe that'd be a better question, maybe for all 3 of us or whoever else is participating, because you want it to be fair for any of the other students if they missed that opportunity. But Debbie, I'll email you as soon as the meeting's over, and we probably need to, because we need to talk about how we're going to set up the scheduling too.
Well, Fred, I was asking because I thought maybe Debbie might be able to identify some last minute servant leaders at Plano Senior, because how many years have you been there, Debbie?
22. I mean, in Plano, 22.
Yeah, so you kind of know how things work there. So, but anyway, great. Well, thank you, everybody. Zane, Taha, we appreciate you guys educating us on the UTD Rotaract Club. You guys are really doing an amazing job. I always say, it's the first step is volunteering. The second step is inviting your friend to volunteer. But when you lead others to volunteer, that's when you're truly just magnifying and that's what you guys are doing. You're leading fellow college students in service above self. And especially because what you're doing is your plan listed out. By the way, I never saw that presentation, so this is all new to me. Their plan is to integrate them with Rotary. So they're going to be taking college students and having them work alongside people like us, people in career plans. And to me, that is just so amazing. I mean, those are the kind of experiences anybody in college wants, and so what they're doing, and I'm going to be looking for our club to support them as much as possible. So when they have, even though we don't sponsor them, our club members are leading them. And so we're always going to take care of our own. So when they have projects, we need to volunteer and help them. If they need mentors, training, just advice, I'm looking for our club members to step up and support them, because like Debbie said, that's our future. And we have a direct opportunity to determine our future in a positive way. So thank you, Zane. Thank you, Taha. And as you know, we do, because your speaking list changed, this certificate is a little off. I'm gonna text her and give her a hard time. But Zane and Taha, in appreciation of your time and program, Plano West Rotary will donate $10 in your name, and each of your names, to the Polio Plus Fund, together with the 2-to-1 matching funds from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. That $10 will turn into $30 and will provide a polio vaccine for about 50 people. And as I always want to let everybody know, Rotary is using our polio infrastructure, especially the cold chain, which is really important for a lot of the COVID vaccinations. And that's the same for polio, to aid in the vaccination of COVID-19. So our donations towards that are going to help not only polio, but COVID. And because we're making this in your name, and you guys are Rotarians, that's actually going to show up with your Rotary Foundation account as a direct contribution, which will contribute to your Paul Harris Fellow as you guys achieve it. So thank you very much for speaking to us and just being amazing club members. Like I said before, you do a whole lot more than I did at your age. All right, next week, we have a fellow Rotarian speaking to us. Robert Yudkin. He is actually in the Plano East Rotary Club. And Robert, for those that have been in Rotary, you're familiar with the Guerrera Clinic, and he's been a key person on it for years. And during non-COVID years, they bring down teams to volunteer. I'm not going to get into the detail, but he's going to present to our club. And this is an opportunity for us to, as an international project going forward. And like I said, it's a fellow Rotarian that's actually in a Plano club that's going to present. So I've never seen the presentation, but I've heard of the project for years. So I'm looking forward to hear it. And last and not least, I want to ask Debbie, who she's been waiting for this, she's going to lead us in the 4-way test. Want me to help you? It seems like people joined the gym with you. I can't hear her. Can you guys hear her? Tell you what, Debbie,
No.
put your mask back on. I don't want you to put yourself in a bad situation. I'll go ahead and lead it for you. So you're going to get it virtually. See, that's what a team is about. This is a four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Rotary. All right,
Rotary.
thank you and have a great week and enjoy the weather. Bye.